at the ballpark. We meet again as we get ready for Hot Rods baseball here. Game number 78. The Bowling Green Hot Rods improved to 44-33 after that first game. And 5-2 here in the second half. And now they've won 3 straight. And they're going to try for a series sweep here against the Great Lakes Loons. What a way it would be to kick off the home schedule here in the second half of the season, just before you board the bus and you head into Lansing, Michigan for a series against the Lansing Lugnuts. And, well, they've got a pretty good pitcher out there on the mound to do so. Matthew Liberatore is going to start this ball game for the Hot Rods here. As Liberatore, 6'5", 200 pounds, takes his 5-1 record and puts it on the line against these Great Lakes Loons. He's got a 1.76 earned run average and has yet to face the Loons so far, not only in this season, but he's yet to face a Dodgers affiliate in his career. So it should provide a very good test as the Loons have opted for the green jerseys with the gray pants. Here comes the first pitch. And that one swung on and hit in the air down the left field line. Giving a look was Jordan Cassar, but that one will end up in the seats. 7:47 for our first pitch. About 88 degrees and sunny outside. A beautiful night to play the second game of a doubleheader. Just scheduled for 7 innings here. It's the next pitch on the way to Roller. This is just a bit outside. 94 on the radar gun in left field. It's Matthew Liberatore choosing the white uniforms, so they'll just stay in those whites for both games of this twin bill. The 1-1 misses outside for a ball. And now it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Roller, a .276 batting average, 4 home runs, 17 RBI this season. He was absent from the lineup earlier here today, and here he swings and misses at that pitch to even it up at 2-2. But Roller taking on Matthew Liberatore, the long, lanky left-hander. 1.76 ERA, just 19 years old at this level, as the breaking ball misses inside. It's a 2-2 count. Liberatore, fastball, a curveball, throws a slider as well as a changeup. It's the 2-2. Swung on, hard hit ground ball back up the middle, and that's through for a base hit here for Chris Roller to lead off the ball game with a single. And as he arrives at first base, Miguel Vargas will fill in at the plate behind him. While he does that, why don't we take a look at the defensive arrangement for the Hot Rods here today. Nate Soria is the battery mate for Liberatore, making his 2019 debut with Bowling Green. He's been here with us as the backstop out in the bullpen. He was activated earlier today, and now he starts game 2 of this double dip. Bunt attempt goes wrong there as he squared to bunt. Took a step toward first base, but couldn't connect on the fastball, and now it's 0-1. But Soria, the backstop. Russ Olive at first base. Kevin Santiago, the second baseman. It's the 0-1 on the way to the righty. This one will get fouled up and out of play right side after the fastball. It's taken up and out of play. Ford Proctor's the shortstop. Jonathan Aranda, the third baseman. Well, it's Jordan Cassar in left, Grant Witherspoon in center, Tony Pena getting the start in right field. It's a long look from Liberatore now. He kicks and fires. The breaking ball's in there for a called strike 3. And it's an Atmos Energy bringing the gas strikeout to bring up Jacob Amaya with the first out of the ball game here for the Hot Rods. Liberatore's curveball, for my money, may be one of the best pitches we've seen, not just on staff, but in the league. That thing is an absolute hammer that we have seen devastate hitter after hitter. As Miguel Vargas makes his way in, or beg your pardon, Jacob Amaya makes his way in as that instead of the throw over. But Chris Roller back in safely and standing up. So Roller reached on the single here to lead off the ball game. The pitch on the way to Amaya. This is just a bit outside for a ball. It's Amaya followed by Dylan Paulson and Luke Heyer if we get to that point in the order. Double play is in order, so Santiago and Proctor both playing as such. So the pitch on the way to the righty. He swings and fouls this one off. It's a 1-1 count. Bowling Green on a 3-game winning streak after 2 straight walk-off victories here between last night's first game of what was supposed to be a doubleheader, with the second game being suspended after the first inning. The pitch swung on, bouncing ball left side, could be 2. That one thrown to second, and Santiago drops it. They'll say no, he's safe. That ball by Aranda was thrown on the first base side of the bag at second as Santiago came through. Looked like he was starting to transfer that ball. It just came out of his glove. It'll be an error that Amaya reaches on. As Roller reaches. Being E5. Ray Ruiz comes out, talks it over with A.J. Chalk on the base paths. Liberatore pleading his case for his second baseman as well, but it's not going to hold up, so runners at first and second. Now we get Dylan Paulson to the plate. 8 home runs this season. He'll settle in against the lefty. The first pitch to him. Misses in the dirt, blocked by Soria, but it gets away from him. Everybody moves up a bag on a wild pitch. So now you got 2 runners in scoring position here. It's Liberatore coming off a fine outing, though he took his first loss of the season. Back in South Bend, went 7 innings and gave up a run on 4 hits. A couple of hit batsmen and a couple of walks, but 7 Ks for the big man. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball in there for a called strike. You'd hear off in the distance out in the Farmers Market area, out past right field. Here's some of that music that sounds like it's live. There is indeed a band playing out there. Ballpark buzzing with life as the 1-1 pitch. A chopper hit to third base. Aranda goes home. Soria's got the ball, applies the tag, and he's out. They cut the run down at the plate for the second out of the inning. Paulson reaches on a fielder's choice, and Amaya goes into third base, but Roller hosed at the plate. One goes down 5-2, and it brings up Luke Heyer with runners at the corners and 2 gone. So although Aranda ends up with the error earlier on, he's able to save a run with a nice defensive play and a strong throw there. Not just that, but Soria able to corral that thing and then get the tag down on him on Roller as he was sliding feet first into the plate. Libby set at the belt, checks first, delivers home. Fastball bounced over to shortstop. Proctor will take the easy out at second. It's secured by Santiago, and the 6-4 put out at second base ends the inning as Heyer technically reaching on the fielder's choice. Strands 2 here, but it's no runs, a hit and an error. And it takes us into the bottom half of the first in a shortened 7-inning game. Back in a few as Ford Proctor, Seaver Whalen, and Grant Witherspoon all come to the dish in a scoreless ball game here on the Hot Rods Radio Network. Back at Bowling Green Ballpark as we take this ball game into the bottom half of the first inning, and Ford Proctor comes up to the dish. Scoreless ball game. Proctor, the leadoff man in this lineup, playing short. As he steps in, he's got 4 home runs to go along with his 33 RBIs. Set to face Stephen Kolick to start it out here for Great Lakes in this second game of the twin billing. So Proctor taps both sides of the plate as he settles in. Here comes the first pitch to him. Oh, he misses downstairs for a ball. So it'll be Proctor, Whalen, and Witherspoon all here in the first inning. Kolick set at the belt, stands square to the plate, now turns and fires. 1-0 pitch, just misses. Fastball at 91, and it's a 2-0 count. The righty Wheels and deals, 2-0, misses again. Now 3-0. It's an 11th round pick last year by the Los Angeles Dodgers. Throws a 4-seam and a 2-seam to complement a slider, a curveball, and a change. The pitch on its way to Proctor, taking all the way. It'll be in there for a strike after that fastball. Now 3-1. He's on the opening day roster here. Doesn't give up a lot of line drives. This one in on the hands will get floated up and out of play left side. It's a guy who lives on getting ground ball outs. Almost 50% of the pitches that are hit. 49.8% to be exact. It's the 3-2 on the way. Proctor sends this one high in the air out in the right field. James Outman tracking it though. He moves to his right and makes the play for the first out of the inning, and it brings up last night's and today's hero. It's Seaver Whalen. Whalen, you might remember, a sacrifice fly to help Bowling Green walk off earlier on here today. Or I should say last night was the sac fly. Earlier today, Whalen with a ground ball up the third baseline into left as the first pitch he sees misses low and away for a ball. 1-0 count to him. But it drove in Jonathan Aranda as well as Osmi Gregorio. Gregorio scored both of the winning runs in each day. This pitch misses low and away, and you can see there Jair Camargo holding the glove there for a moment, trying to get that strike called. Now it's 2-0 with one out. Here's the pitch. Whalen sends a bouncing ball to third base. Down on a knee, Vargas has it. He stands up, wings it across the diamond, and gets the out. 5-3 on the put out, brings up Grant Witherspoon. Back to Kolek for a moment here, since we figure we'll see him for a while unless the Hot Rods can get to him early. He's out of Texas A&M. He spent 3 years there playing. Actually pitched in a College World Series regional final where he threw 8 1/3 and had 9 strikeouts. The pitch misses downstairs to Witherspoon. Starts him off in a 1-0 count. Just one run in that game to get A&M into Omaha. This one's slugged out in the left center field, and that one's going to take one hop and go off the wall. It's out of the reach of roller. It gets over his head, but Spoon coasts into second base, decides to hold it there. It's a 2-out double for Grant Witherspoon, and it extends this bottom half of the first inning in a scoreless game as Jordan Cassar, who's got a lot of pop in that left-hand bat, ready to settle in and start his work in the second game. Now you get a runner into scoring position, and Spoon can really run. He's got 14 stolen bases this season. As Cassar, who's got a .222 average with 1 homer and an RBI, settles in. First pitch to him. Misses low and inside. Righty against the lefty at the plate. It's Kolek. Rests that glove on his left shoulder before coming set chin high. Here's the 1-0. And that fastball is in there for a called strike at the knees. Cassar at the plate, 23 years of age. He'll turn 24 this December. Left-handed hitter from California, 6'3", $195 from Pepperdine University. Kolek sends the 1-1 to the plate. That one misses in the dirt again. A good block by Camargo. Pushes it to 2-1. There's a 25th round pick in last year's draft. Kolek goes to the back of the mound, picks up the rosin bag, and now tries to clean the spikes off for readdressing the rubber in a 2-1 count. But Cassar split time in between Princeton and Hudson Valley. The 2-1 pitch on the way. He swings and fouls this one back. With Princeton, played in 40 games, had a .350 batting average to go along with his 10 home runs. passes that bat through the zone and starts to wag it once again, letter high. Here's the 2-2. He swings and misses. Drop third, strike. Camargo out in a fair ground. He throws it up to first. And Dylan Paulson has it for the final out of the inning. K2-3 if you're keeping score at home. Hot Rods get a hit here in the first inning, but leave him stranded in a scoreless ball game. We take it to the second in a moment as we're rejoined by Brennan Mentz, and we'll be back here on the Bowling Green Hot Rods Radio Network. Matthew Liberatore will be back on the mound. He'll face James Outman, Jair Camargo, and Matt Kogan. As we do that, we welcome back in Brennan Mentz. We're going to start it a little bit early, that trivia question. It's the pitch on the way. This one misses up and inside. It's the time of night where Brennan tries to make me look dumb, which he's done a couple times. I usually need multiple hints, but after this next pitch, we'll turn it over to him. Here's the 1-0. That one misses up and in for a ball. It's 2-0, and here's the question.
All right, no real inspiration for this one, but I will ask for only 3 here.
Here's the pitch. This one's hitting the right center field. That ball is down a line drive that splits the outfielders, but then gets cut off. Outman's going for 2. The throw to the bag is not in time, as James Outman has a double to kick it off here in the second inning.
So the question is, and I'll give you the full inning, not just the half inning to get this. There are 5 active pitchers who have thrown at multiple no-hitters. Name 3 of them.
Okay. Max Scherzer.
Bingo.
Clayton Kershaw.
No.
Ooh, is Kershaw not on that list?
Kershaw only has 1.
Oh, Verlander.
Verlander's
Okay,
there's
definitely
2.
One. Did Anibal Sanchez do it more than once?
He did not.
Ooh.
He only had 1. That was back in his rookie season.
Okay. Liberatore set. Here's the pitch. Runner takes off for third. That one sails right over Soria, but ricochets right back to him behind the plate. Outman in safely over there at third base. Took off right when that one was thrown, so it'll be a stolen base for him. It's a 1-0 count. Well, that's an awfully good one. All right, so there's 5 of them. What'd you say? How many do I need?
I'm only asking you to get 3. You got Scherzer and Verlander. Definitely the 2 easiest names on that list.
Definitely. There's a swing and a miss on a ball down in the dirt. That one rolls away. Oh, there's hang on. There's one that's there's like a really obscure one that just happened pretty recently with the Athletics. We watched it right here.
Yes, we did.
Oh, what? I can't remember his name right now. Action sign given by Emma Charlesworth Seiler, and now she's going to wave off and call time. Oh, man, why can't I remember his name right now? Here's the 1-1. It's a big swing and a miss by Camargo. Makes it 1-2.
I just remember watching that game up here, working ahead, something like 1:15 in the morning because we had an education day the next day.
Exactly. Here's the 1-2. It's a swing and another foul ball back and into the screen to keep it 1-2. It's a fun fact for you. That's not a foul tip.
Foul ball.
It's just a foul ball. Catcher has to catch it for it to be a foul tip. Baseball's a funny sport. This isn't helping me figure out this last name.
No.
Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Liberatore gets another strikeout. That's his second of the day. It's Nat Moss Energy bringing the gas strikeout. Brings up Matt Kogan with 1 away. I need something here to jar my memory. Hopefully it's not a text message. We've been getting those a lot, as much as I appreciate everybody listening. Point of this exercise is to show how forgetful I am. Here's the pitch. One's in there for a called strike fastball. The inner part of the plate makes it an 0-1 count. Maybe we should move on from that one.
Sure.
How about Jake Arrieta? 0-1 pitch. This one will get lobbed down the left field line. Chasing it is Aranda, the third baseman, into the seating area, and that one will come down just shy of the wall. It's an 0-2 count.
You're correct, Jake Arrieta.
That was the one in my back pocket. I really wanted to remember the name of that guy that did it earlier this season because it was the first of the year, wasn't it?
It's May 7th. First no-hitter of the season, yes.
Give me some kind of, like, give me something to try and jog my memory on that one.
I mean, I don't know. This guy is...
Can I get some initials?
So obscured. Last name starts with F.
Here's the pitch. Misses upstairs. Was it Fuentes?
No.
No. What?
Only Fuentes I can think of is Ray Fuentes, who is an outfielder.
I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just taking stabs in the dark at this point. It's a 1-2 count to Matt Cogan. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball called strike 3. Cogan gets punched out. Third strikeout here for Matthew Liberatore, and he looks to be rolling here in the second inning after allowing a leadoff double. He's got 2 straight, and it brings up Josh McLean, the 9-hitter.
I'm impressed that you did get 3 of them without a hint. I only asked for 3. So
I mean, I feel like Arrieta wasn't that hard of one because both of his have been relatively recent. So that one misses up and outside, makes it a 1-0 count here to McLean, who's hit 200 so far this season.
Arrieta did his in 15 and 16, less than a calendar year apart.
But that's when the Cubs really got watchable. Like that's before everybody was like, oh, look at all this. You know, they're an embarrassment of riches there. As that breaking ball's in for a strike at the knees, now 1-2. So I can remember sitting, I was still in the Northwoods League at that point, and I can remember sitting in an apartment, I think pretty close to when the season was over, if not after that, and watching that first one as the 1-1 pitch gets swung on and fouled back.
Yeah, the first one was August 30th, 2015. That was a Sunday night baseball game in LA. I remember watching the end of that.
I remember I was sitting in an apartment in Mankato, Minnesota, in a camp chair because my wife Sam and I didn't have actual furniture for that apartment because it was just a temporary place. We had an air mattress and then a couple camp chairs in the living room. So 1-2 gets swung on and missed. 3 straight strikeouts, and Liberatore has 4 here in this ball game. All 4 of them at Moss Energy, bringing the gas strikeout varieties. And it takes us into the bottom half of the second inning. Still no score. Up to the plate for Bowling Green. It'll be Aranda, Olive, and Pena when we come back on the Hot Rods Radio Network. Back at the ballpark, we take it into the bottom half of the second. It'll be Jonathan Aranda, Russ Olive, and then Tony Pena all due up here. He's got a scoreless game, bottom half of the second. So Brennan Mentz, who's with us here, he has been all season, will for the foreseeable future this season be with us as well, unless something great happens for him. As we normally do, we try to ask a question early on in the game for a trivia question. Here's the pitch. That one misses outside for a ball. So he stipulated I only had to get 3 out of the 5. I got 3. Now we're pushing for 5 in the bottom half of the inning because why not? And he says the drop-off is steep as far as notoriety for the 2 other guys. Here's the 1-0. It misses outside. I know who the one guy is. I can't remember his name.
I'll give you a hint for the other guy they haven't even touched on.
Okay.
He pitched for Cincinnati.
Homer Bailey?
There you go.
There's the pitch. It's in there for a strike at the knees. 2-1 count. Forgot about that.
Homer Bailey, current Kansas City Royal now is where he has moved on to.
He looks a lot like Christian Bale. Here's the 2-1. That one misses in the dirt. Now 3-1.
Can't say I was expecting that. I don't know.
Stephen Kolek on the mound. 3-1. Misses up and outside to Aranda, and that'll be a walk by Kolek. Brings up Russ Off. So now it's just back to I know who he is, can't think of his name. I don't even have a good guess for that one. What else? You got anything else that could maybe jar the memory there? So we know his last name starts with F. He's done it with 2 different teams.
Yes, the other one was with Houston. So he's one of the few pitchers to throw no-hitters in both leagues.
Right.
The Houston one is 2015.
The pitch in there for a called strike low in the zone for Russ Olive to start him off in an 0-1 count. A .263 batting average for the big left-hander. His first home run of his career back in the second inning of that first game. Oh, 1 from Kolek on the way as he checks first, now delivers. That pitch, this is inside for a ball.
Okay, I'll give you the first initial of his name. It is the letter M.
M. As in like Mark?
Yes.
Okay. So it's M and F.
Yes.
Mike fires.
Yes.
There it is. Here's the 1-1. Up and in, and Olive leans back out of the way and then looks back to Emma Charlesworth-Seiler for a moment. Now it's 2-1, so there we go.
Nicely done.
And I got the most help on the one that definitely needed it.
Yeah. They are those 5 gentlemen among 29 all-time that have thrown multiple no-hitters.
Not bad. Here's the 2-1. Oh, and misses downstairs. We won't bore everybody with trying to get the 29 because there is no shot. I don't care how many hits you give me. I'm not going to get the 24 other guys.
Oh, Nolan Ryan and Sandy Koufax. There's 2. No.
We're not getting into that one. Besides, there's a baseball game to talk about.
Sure.
This is a 3-1 pitch to Russ Olive. Oh, misses upstairs, and that's back-to-back walks to start off this second inning. And that's going to draw Camargo out from home plate. He wants to go talk it over.
Yeah, why talk about games from years ago when you can talk about the one that's happening right in front of you?
Exactly. It's a good one, too. No score yet.
It's been a very exciting series of baseball. Lots of high drama. Unfortunately, lots of rain, but lots of high drama when it hasn't been raining. So
you figure you had the 8-7 win in the first game today.
Yes.
4-3 walk-off win yesterday. 5-2 win for Bowling Green in the first game of the series.
And even that one was a nip and tuck battle that I think those last 2 runs came in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Like that, nip and tuck battle.
Yeah.
I also would say entire series highly contested.
Yes.
Like any of these games could have gone either way when you realize in the 9th inning of that first game tonight, Great Lakes, let's not forget, came into the 9th inning having the lead. So Bowling Green, in order to win that game in the 9th, had to score 2 runs, and Seaver Whalen had some magic in the bat. Here's the first pitch to Tony Pena. He squares the bunt, pulls it back, and the off-speed pitch is in there for a called strike and a 1 count.
And it should be mentioned as well, when Great Lakes took the lead in the 8th inning, they still had runners at second and third, 1 out. But Nick Sprengel got a strikeout in his outing, and Nick Padilla able to strand the runners and keep it a 1-run game. It could have easily been a lot worse.
Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. This time Pena chasing the off-speed pitch low and away. Now it's 0-2. It's brought his batting average up to .240. It doesn't seem like all that long ago that Pena was certainly having his struggles at the plate, but then all of a sudden he went on a nice little run there. Brought the average up over 200, hasn't looked back since. Here's the 0-2. He swings and misses there, and that'll be the first out of the inning on the board, a strikeout. And that's a tough one to take there because you get a guy like Pena up to the plate that's aggressive, even though Kolek obviously walking the first 2 hitters, struggling a little bit. You want to be patient, but at the same time, for a guy like Pena, when he sees a pitch he likes, he's going to go after it.
Yeah, he's not a guy that's one to want to watch a fastball near the strike zone go by.
So now Kevin Santiago comes up to the plate, a 194 batting average. Does have a home run to his credit. So the pitch on the way. And that one's going to miss low and away. Snap throw down to first is not in time. So we're trying to back pick Russ Olive. The 1-0 count here to Santiago. This place is really hopping here tonight. You got tons of people up here on the suite level. Nice crowd filling in the seating bowl. And on top of that, some people enjoying the berm out in left center field. A lot of people walking the concourse too. Kolek set. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. There's Santiago. Boy, he certainly got aggressive on that swing, but couldn't connect with the ball. It's a 1-1 count.
Santiago with the swing there. He was Potentially looking for a second homer there. Problem is, Kolek pulled the string on him. Looked like a changeup there.
Jonathan Aranda at second, Russ Olive at first, both gathering their leads as the 1-1 on the way. Swing and a miss there. Now it's 1-2. One away, still no score. You know, I didn't even notice it in that first game, but the Loons and Hot Rods had an even amount of hits by the time that one was done. Each had 10. So Ronda inching out to his lead there. Here's the 1-2 to Santiago. Swings and misses at that one. Got him on the off-speed pitch, and Santiago strikes out swinging for the second out of the inning. That's back-to-back Ks, the third of the day here for Kolek. That brings up Nate Soria for his first at-bat of the day. So Soria is going to dig in from the right side against the right-hander. It's a guy from Illinois, went to Xavier. It's the pitch on the way. This is downstairs for a ball. Played in 7 games in the GCL last year, a 111 batting average. Still looking for his first career homer as well as his first career RBI. As a matter of fact, he's looking for his first career extra base hit. Stands all the way in the back of the batter's box from the right side. Here's the pitch. 1-0, misses downstairs. It's 2-0. Best game of his pro career came on July 27th last season. It was against the GCL Orioles. Went 1 for 2 with a run scored. Also took a walk in that ball game. It's the pitch on the outside corner for a called strike, a fastball there, and it's 2-1. It's the first hit of his professional career, the only hit thus far. It's the pitch on the way. 2-1, breaking ball misses downstairs. Good block by Camargo behind the plate. Turns into a 3-1 count.
You got to appreciate him. First game action in almost a year, and he's not too anxious. He's been very patient, laying off some good pitcher's pitches.
His brother Zach was an 18th round pick in 2017 by Atlanta. It's the 3-1 pitch on the way. He swings and misses to make it 3-2 when after the fastball. Interestingly enough, his brother Zach earlier on this season, well, we'd have to check to see if the timelines add up, but he was with the Florida Fire Frogs, which would mean that he could have potentially been a teammate of Izzy Wilson's as well. His brother also a catcher. Different schools though, went to Florida International. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss there. Soria strikes out. And after 2 walks to lead off the inning, Kolek K's Pena, Santiago, and Soria in order for 4 strikeouts overall in the game. It's no runs, no hits, no errors, 2 left aboard. As we take it into the 3rd inning, Brennan Mentz will have the 3rd, 4th, and 5th for you when we come back on the Hot Rods Radio Network.
and take one hop onto the roof. There's a couple fans scurrying after that souvenir, but it took one high hop, bounced onto the roof on top of the team store, and disappointed fans there. 0-1 pitch, curveball down towards the back foot of Vargas. Taken for a ball, 1-1. Vargas hitting .308 on the season. 1-1 pitch, big curve again. Vargas this time hacking, and foul tips it right at home plate, and the count now 1-2. Vargas was the DH game 1. He is the third baseman for the nightcap. 1-2 fastball misses up and away, 2-2. So Liberatore went with back-to-back curves at 75, then comes back with the 94-mile-an-hour heater up. Misses. Now 2-2. The lefty from the windup delivers. Swung on and hit in the air right center field. Coming on is Witherspoon, and he will make the catch. 2 down. A good start here in the third inning for Liberatore. He's now set down 5 in a row overall. He's allowed 2 hits. Seen another runner reach on an error. Well, technically a fielder's choice, but there is an error allowing a lead runner to stay on base. That was in the first. He's also thrown a wild pitch. Now the first pitch to Jacob Amaya. This one's hit well, high and deep to left field. That ball is off the wall of the bullpen. Having to go a long ways to grab this one is Jordan Kazar. He fires it into third on one hop. Amaya will trot into second with the 2-out double as he tees off the first pitch from Liberatore. But as far as he hits it, it's just a double. So he hit that one to left field right after where the wall straightens out, because the left field corner where the bullpen is, first pitch to Dylan Paulson's taken for a strike. That left field wall, it's goes straight out perpendicular to the side wall, to the foul line, I guess I should say, a few feet. Then it goes back at about a 45-degree angle away from the line. 0-1 breaking ball misses down in the way. 1 ball, 1 strike. And then probably 25, 30 feet off the line or so, it straightens out and goes perpendicular to the foul line all the way to deep left center. 1-1 pitch, swung on and foul tipped by Paulson. The count now 1-2. Another dandy of a curveball from Liberatore. Where Amaya hit that ball was right after the wall straightens out. And they hit about halfway up, just to the left of the ribbon board that is in front of the Bud Zone here at Bowling Green Ballpark. 1-2 on Paulson. Runner at second, 2 down. The pitch, curveball hit high in the air into right center. Pena and Witherspoon giving chase, but Witherspoon's got it on the run, and that will end the inning. A 2-out double, but nothing doing for the Great Lakes Loons as Liberatore has started off his night with 3 scoreless innings. Through 2.5 here on the Hot Rods Radio Network, no score. Welcome back to Bowling Green Ballpark. Bottom of the third inning, no score as Ford Proctor steps in. Here in the bottom of the third inning, we will get to our community organization of the night as we welcome in Alicia Cannon from the Army Corps of Engineers. As bring in Alicia here after the first pitch to Proctor, which is a fastball in the dirt for ball 1. And Alicia, how have you enjoyed your night at the ballpark?
It's been a good night so far, nice and hot.
And you are with the Army Corps of Engineers, Barron River Lake.
Correct.
The 1-0 pitch to Proctor is swung on and laced into center field, but hanging up and is snagged by the center fielder Roller for the first out. Proctor hit it hard, but too hard perhaps. 1 down now for Seaver Whalen. And I guess first off, just tell us a little bit about the Army Corps of Engineers.
Well, you know, we have a lot of recreational opportunities out at Barron River Lake. We're one of the closest places from Bowling Green for people to go out and camp, fish, boat, do that sort of thing. So we're just kind of here promoting all of that sort of activities.
Definitely sounds like a lot of fun, and I know I spent a lot of time as a kid out at various lakes out where I live. I didn't grow up here, but enjoyed all that, definitely, as Seaver Whalen steps in and takes a first pitch fastball for a strike. And I guess what kind of upcoming events do you have out at Barren River Lake?
So we have the 4th of July fireworks are coming up. Our friends group does that. We do a poker run later in the season in August, and then we have a big shoreline cleanup in September.
Next pitch to Whalen misses downstairs, 1-1, and the poker run, more specifically, that will be on August 4th. The cleanup on September 15th as Whalen pops up the 1-1 pitch right side. Backing up is Paulson. He'll make the catch, 2 down. And moving very quickly, of course, because that's how it seems like these always work. And I guess how can people get involved with your organization?
They can contact us, of course, at the Corps of Engineers office and volunteer that way. Or our friends group is a nonprofit that is always accepting volunteers to help out with various events and get involved in the community.
Grant Witherspoon steps to the plate with 2 outs now. Nobody on in the bottom of the 3rd inning. No score, sitting with Alicia Cannon from the Army Corps of Engineers. Spoon takes pitch down and in for ball 1. And have any other information that you'd like Hot Rods fans to know about the Corps or just Barren River Lake and at all as Witherspoon takes a strike 1-1?
One of the big things that we promote primarily is just water safety in general. Most of our visitors are out on the lake, so we're always encouraging people to, check their boat, their equipment, make sure everybody has life jackets, and just have a safe trip, when they're out there.
Pitch to Witherspoon is fouled off over the roof, and the count now moves to 1-2. And I know it's certainly been an interesting season so far for lakes all across the country as so much rain as Witherspoon takes a curveball just outside 2-2. And I'm from Kansas area, and they've just had a lot of problems with lakes there nearing capacity. I don't know if you've had anything with Barren River Lake, but I know we've had a lot of challenges in various places with that.
Oh yeah, for sure. We've had a lot of flooding since the wintertime, and the lake is a little bit high right now, but it's going back down to summer pool hopefully pretty quickly.
Well, hopefully that continues as Witherspoon swings and misses and strikes out, and that will end the inning. Still no score through 3 innings, and short but sweet. Alicia, thank you for your time. And hey, Hot Rods are on the road next 5 days, so go out to the lake while you're at it. We head to the 4th, no score on the Hot Rods Radio Network. Top of inning number 4 we go. To Liberatore back on the hill as Luke Heyer will step up to begin at the top of the 4th inning. He'll be followed by James Outman and Jair Camargo. First pitch to Heyer on the way. It's a fastball at the knees. Strike 1, 91 miles an hour from Liberatore, who likes to use that fastball. Various ranges in the low to mid 90s. Or 91, but he can dial it up to 97, occasionally even 98. 0-1. Again at the knees, called strike 2. We've seen Liberatore with a devastating curveball at times tonight. He's got 4 strikeouts. See if count 0-2 if that's what he goes to here against Heyer. The pitch, there it is, swung on and missed. Just like that, 3 pitch strikeouts of Heyer to begin the top of the 4th inning, and Atmos Energy bring in the gas strikeout. So now James Outman steps up, takes first pitch fastball. And their first strike. That's a breaking ball, I should say. 0-1. It's a called strike either way. Liberatore quickly delivers in another curve and another swing and a miss. 0-2. Liberatore hunting another strikeout here. The 0-2 home. Breaking ball just misses off the plate, ball 1. Nate Soria out there framing that pitch up. But Emma Charlesworth-Seiler rules it to be just off the outside corner. So now another 1-2 on the way. The pitch to Outman. Swung on and hit well. High in the air, deep to right field. Pena on the run. Witherspoon converging, and Witherspoon Yes, it is Witherspoon making the catch. In deep right center. Altman hit it hard, but not hard enough. It's a long F8 and 2 down. So Liberatore in the third also set down the first 2 batters he faced and allowed a double off the left field wall by Jacob Amaya, but he did not score. Now Camargo steps up. Jair Camargo takes the first pitch strike. The 0-1, skied in the air right side, and it'll be out of play. 0-2, landing on the right field concourse, and Liberatore gotten ahead of each of the first 3 hitters of the inning. 0-2. Gotten a strikeout and a flyout out of it. The 0-2 pitch to Camargo. Oh, a quick pitch. Fastball, though, just misses off the outside corner. 1-2. And Liberatore sped up his delivery there, trying to upset the timing of Camargo, and Camargo took it, but just off the plate. So now another 1-2. Liberatore working quickly. There's the curveball. There's the swing and a miss. And there's the 6th at Moss Energy. Bringing the gas strikeout for Matt Liberatore. 1-2-3 4th inning. And that will take us to the midpoint of Game 2 of this doubleheader. Halfway home here at Bowling Green Ballpark. No score between Great Lakes and the Bowling Green Hot Rods. Bottom of the 4th we go here at Bowling Green Ballpark as we reach the second half of our nightcap 7-inning contest between Bowling Green and Great Lakes. And first 3.5 have flown on by as neither team has dented the plate yet. Jordan Kazar steps in and he takes a mighty swing and a miss at a first pitch fastball from Stephen Kolek. First strike 1. It'll be Kazar, Aranda, and Olive all due up. A 1 pitch that skips down and in. The count now 1-1. Kolek walked a pair of batters to begin the second inning, but then struck out Pena, Santiago, and Soria consecutively, then worked a 1-2-3 third. 1-1 to Kazar. Fastball misses upstairs, ball 2. Kazar came up with Grant Witherspoon at second and 2 down the first, but struck out swinging to end the inning. Batting .211 with a home run and an RBI this season. 2-1 pitch, fouled back. And the count now even at 2-2. Kazar has a lot of power in his game, hence why the home run already, but he's also got a lot of swing and miss. He has 10 strikeouts and 16 at-bats this year. 2-2 pitch, swung on and fouled off of his back foot, and he is jumping up and down and now walking around the dirt circle behind home plate in pain. He has a shin guard on his front foot, which is his right foot, or his right shin, I should say. But he fouled that one off his left leg, which is completely unprotected. That looked like it caught it flush on the bone above the ankle. He's taking his time, but it looks like he's finally about ready to get back in the box. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kazar ready. Kolek delivers, and it's a swing and a miss. Kazar down on strikes for a second time, and Kolek has matched Liberatore with his 6th strikeout of the game. So 2 down now for Jonathan Aranda for a walk his first time in. First pitch to Aranda. Fastball called strike, 0-1. Aranda playing in his 2nd game for Bowling Green. Takes a fastball just inside, ball 1. He's a native of Tijuana. Played winter ball in Mexico. Signed out of Mexico as an 18-year-old by Tampa Bay. Waits the 1-1. Fastball misses upstairs for ball 2. Aranda, successful debut, had an RBI single, his first at bat, a Hot Rods uniform, as he takes a pitch inside for ball 3. And on top of that, drew a walk and scored the tying run in the 9th inning, game 1. Of course, that just a couple seconds ahead of Osmi Gregorio scoring the winning run. 3-1 pitch, misses outside, ball 4, and Aranda will pitch the bat and trot on down the first with his second walk of the game. Aranda getting the on-base percentage up already. He has 3 walks in this twin bill. That's not something he's really been known for throughout his pro career. He's coming into game 1, I should say, as the first pitch to Russ Olive is into dirt, blocked by Camargo for ball 1. He played in 151 games before coming to Bowling Green for the first time. He had 48 walks. That said, though, in his first 7 games split between Charlotte and GCL Rays, he had 3. Now with 6 on the season and just his 9th game played. Just finding ways to get on base. Russ Olive doing that as well. Very productive doubleheaders. Aranda takes off, swing and a miss, and a pitch into dirt. Camargo's throw is high. The tag is not made. Jacob Amaya had to leap to snag that high throw from Camargo. Tried to swipe the tag down while still airborne onto Aranda, who almost overslid the bag. But A.J. Chuck ruled that the tag was either not made at all or made not in time. As the count now 1-1 on Olive, so that play definitely looked like a hit and run as Olive swung and missed at a pitch that was down and out of the strike zone. 1-1 pitch, similar location, but taken for a ball. 2-1. Olive in game 1. 2 for 4. The home run, 3 RBIs, scored twice. Adding 263 in his brief stint here in Bowling Green. 2-1 pitch to him is popped up high in the air behind second base. Will be the shortstop Amaya calling for it and making the catch out in shallow center field for the second out. Well, I'll bring up Tony Pena with the runner at second and 2 down. Rondo over at third, second. After a 1-out walk and then picked up a Holly Automotive stolen base. His first of the season, number 20 in his career. Those are his first stolen bases since 2017. He stole 14 bases in 50 games 2017 as Pena takes a strike. Then in 45 games last year, only attempted 1 steal and was unsuccessful. Aranda 1 for 1, start off the 2019 campaign. Pena at the plate with an 0-1 count. Pitch home to him, late swing fouled back to the screen, and he's quickly down 0-2. Pena came up with 2 on, nobody out in the second. Struck out swinging on 3 pitches, and he's quickly down 0-2. Kolek overmatched him so far. In search of his 7th strikeout, trying to strand a runner in scoring position for the 3rd time tonight. Still no score, bottom of the 4th inning. Kolek kicks and delivers the 0-2. It's into dirt. Pena able to lay off for ball 1. Hot Rods have made Kolek throw some pitches. He has not yet finished 4 innings. He is at 68 deliveries in the ball game. Only a 7-inning game, so it's not as magnified here. 1-2 pitch, check swing, but taken for ball. 2-2. With a 7-inning game, this issue is not as magnified, but Great Lakes had to go through 5 arms, 4 out of the bullpen, finish game 1. The 2-2 pitch. Pena misses downstairs, 3-2. So 0-2 to 3-2 with Kevin Santiago waiting his turn, hoping to get it here inning number 4 rather than waiting to lead off the 5th. Pena wiggles his back leg as he gets reset. Now ready for the payoff. Ronda leads away from second. Kolek kicks, delivers, and Pena chops this one to third. Just inside the line, long throw to first is offline and past Paulson. Rounding third and coming home is Aranda with the first run of the ball game. 1-0 Bowling Green, and it is an infield single for Tony Pena. No word on if there is an error as well. It'll be a single and an E5 with no RBI. So now, the conference at the mound between Camargo and Kolek. The one-out walk and stolen base is turned into a run. Pena stopped at first. He figured that was well enough. So Aranda scores on E5. The run unearned for now. Kevin Santiago steps in. Strikeout victim his first time up. Pena leads away from first. Kolek kicks and delivers. Santiago takes a fastball. Called strike on the outside corner. Kevin, a 188 hitter, 1 homer and 5 RBIs. Did not play in game 1. He waits the 0-1. Kolek kicks, fires, and Santiago, big swing and a foul. Just getting a bat on. Pitch that was down. Shoots it back to the screen. No balls and 2 strikes. And yet first and 2 down. Average lead over there for Tony. 0-2 to Santiago. Swung on and missed, and Kolek strikes out Santiago for the second time tonight, but not before an infield single and a throwing error bring home the first run of the game. 1-0 Bowling Green. We head to the 5th on the Hot Rods Radio Network. Here we go, top of the 5th inning. 1-0 our score. Hot Rods and the Great Lakes Loons. Bowling Green able to break the seal in the bottom of the 4th inning, thanks to a little bit of help from Great Lakes, as Loons were beneficiaries in their Game 1 comeback. They scored 4 unearned runs thanks to a trio of Hot Rods errors. Returning the favor, as it was a throwing error by Miguel Vargas on an infield single by Tony Pena that brought home Jonathan Aranda for the moment at least, the only run of the game. So Liberatore steps in. First pitch, curveball misses up and into Matt Kogan for ball 1. Kogan took a backwards K back in the 2nd. 1 of 7 for Liberatore. Fastball taken for a strike, 1-1. Matthew Liberatore has struck out so many batters that I lost count of how many he struck out. Nope, I lost count again. It's 6. So I was right the first time. 2-1. I said 6 after he struck out Jair Camargo to end the 4th inning. 2-1 pitch on the way. Fastball on the outside corner, 2-2. Liberatore threw a 1-2-3-4 with a pair of strikeouts. His only spotless inning today. Otherwise has had to work quite a bit with runners in scoring position, but able to do so effectively. 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball just off the plate, ball 3. Hogan had a best game of the season by a pretty wide margin in game 1. Came into the game 2 for 34 on the season, but went 3 for 4. Now up with the payoff pitch. Curveball misses outside, ball 4. Hogan also checked a swing, but he held up. That is a leadoff walk. Liberatore did not miss by much with those last 2 pitches, but issues the free pass to begin the inning. That is his first walk allowed tonight. Liberatore, in addition to being stingy with the balls put in play, not walked a lot of hitters. Now the first pitch to Josh McClain is fouled back for strike 1. Liberatore pitching. He's finished 45 complete innings. He has just walked his 15th. And even 3 walks per 9 innings, which is pretty standard rate. 1 pitch on the way to McClain, fouled off over the roof, count 0-2. That said, though, there's one big outlier in there. The second start, which is against West Michigan, he walked 5 batters in 5 innings. And since then, Liberatore has walked only 8 in 5 starts. Now the 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed. McClain chases an off-speed down and by his back foot, and that is a 3-pitch strikeout, the second time McClain's gone down on strikes. Atmos Energy bringing the gas, strikeout number 7 for the left-handed Matt Liberatore. Well, now the first pitch to Roller, but instead a throw over to first. Kogan was not far away, and therefore had no trouble getting back. First pitch home to Roller. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Roller singled in the first, grounded out to third. Roller was on the receiving end of the biggest play defensively made by a hot rod today, or in this game at least. The 1 fastball misses up and away for ball 1, but no, we have a balk called. So a balk called by A.J. Chalk. And so going to second is Kogan, and now another man in scoring position as Ray Ruiz will come out and ask for an explanation, and it's a quick one. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, man on second, a 1-0 game. Top of inning number 5. Liberatore also getting a clarification from A.J. Chalk. Well, now he's on the rubber and ready to go, and now Chris Roller steps out asking us to verify the count with Emma Charlesworth-Seiler. Scoreboard showing 1-1, unless I'm missing something. As the pitch is hit in the air to center field, Witherspoon to his right, makes the catch, and that is the second out of the inning. Retreating back to second is Kogan. Roller hit it hard, but lines out. And now 2 outs, man at second. And my guess, what Emma Charlesworth-Seiler was saying is that the balk was called and a pitch was thrown. And in the case of a balk, at least at the professional level, it is, if the pitch is still thrown, it's the first pitch thrown to Miguel Vargas is into dirt for ball 1. If that pitch is put into play or is a hit batter, ball 4, etc., the team that is the beneficiary of the balk call can choose to either take the runner moving 90 feet or the results of whatever play happens. 1-0 pitch, misses upstairs to Vargas. Liberatore left that changeup up, 2-0. So the case on that was the 0-1 pitch that Liberatore threw home to Roller. So the count was 0-1, not 1-1. Doesn't matter either way because he lined out on the next pitch. 2-0 pitch to Vargas. Breaking ball, drops in there for a strike. Roller not happy with that call, and the Great Lakes dugout not too happy either. Say Roller, that is Vargas not happy with the call. Stepped out of the box, now back in. The 2-1 pitch, fastball, bounce back, past Liberatore. This will be a tough play. Santiago tries the bare hand, and he can't come up with it. It trickles behind him. Ford Proctor, though, able to corral the baseball before Matt Kogan at third base can think about making a move home. So tough luck there for Liberatore. He got a weak ground ball. Looked like off the bat all right. Maybe comebacker for the third out of the inning, but Liberatore couldn't quite get to it, just out of the reach of his 6'5" frame. And Santiago's only shot, if he even had that, was to barehand it cleanly and fire basically right off the ground to first. But he couldn't come up with it. So now runners at the corners, 2 down for Jacob Amaya. Takes the first pitch fastball for a strike. Amaya reached on a fielder's choice in the first and then doubled off the left field wall in the third. The outfield swung way over towards the right side for him. They'll move a couple steps over as Amaya swings and fouls the 0-1 back to the screen. The count now 0-2. Liberatore not really dialed that fastball up as much as we've seen it. That one is at 93, which is about where he's topped out tonight. Did hit 94 a couple times in the first, but for the most part it's been 91, 92. But it's worked so far. The 0-2. Curveball swung on, grounded right through the wickets of Aranda at third. That's going to score 1. Rounding second, heading to third is Vargas. And that is going to be an E5. That ball hit straight at Jonathan Aranda at third base, and it just went directly through his legs. And it has been a bad day for Bowling Green Hot Rod's third baseman. Ford Proctor played third base in game 1. He committed 2 errors. That in part led to 4 unearned runs. Jonathan Aranda now has committed 2 errors that led directly to 1 run. Now runners at second and third, 2 outs for Dylan Paulson, who takes a strike. So Kogan scores. That is an unearned run. Anything further will also be unearned. A 1 to Paulson. Check swing. He went too far. That's a swinging strike 2. Liberatore dialed that one up to 95 and let her high. Maybe that's what. Maybe that is the adrenaline, perhaps, after thinking he should have been out of the inning, but instead, a run home. 0-2 pitch, another fastball, 96, misses upstairs. 1-2. Perhaps maybe a little bit of overthrowing there. Paulson 0 for 2 today, waiting the 1-2 pitch with 2 on, 2 outs. Score tied at 1 now. The kick and the delivery. Breaking ball in the dirt. Going away, Soria gloves it. Now Liberatore will get a new baseball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Liberatore's had to work here in the 5th inning. He's thrown 22 pitches in the frame. Now the 2-2. Curveball misses way up and in. And now 0-2 to 3-2. So after pumping 2 strikes past Dylan Paulson, Liberatore missed upstairs with the fastball, then misfired with a pair of curves, which has been his best pitch tonight. Now the count is filled out. He's a bad one away from loading the bases for Luke Heyer. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Liberatore set, the kick, the pitch, swung on and missed, and that is an Atmos Energy bringing the gas strikeout to end the inning. Number 8 for Matt Liberatore. But a crucial error brings home the tying run. We hit the 5th inning stretch of our 7-inning game here at Bowling Green Ballpark. 1-1 our score on the Hot Rods Radio Network. Bottom of the 5th we go, 1-1 our score. Great Lakes tied the game in the top of the inning. Now the Hot Rods will attempt to answer, as it's been a game dominated by pitching, so much that both of the runs in this game, Soria takes the first pitch that skips in for ball 1 from Stephen Kolek. Both runs that have scored in this game, courtesy of E5s, are unearned. Kolek and Liberatore, no earned runs for either one of them. Kolek has allowed just 2 hits, 4 innings of work, as Soria fouls this one off, and the count now 1-1. Allowed just 2 hits, walked 3, struck out 7. So that pitch he just threw was his 75th, so he's starting to get up there a little bit. Kind of get an idea for Kolek. Season high is 88. Usually gets to the low or mid 80s pitch count wise, as Soria looks at a breaking ball in there for a strike, 1-2. So depending on how things transpire, decent chance this might be his last inning, as Great Lakes does have a man loosening in the pen, though not throwing yet. 1-2 to Soria. Breaking ball taken into dirt. Well done there by Soria to lead off that pitch. Probably a bit of a surprise to him when he was suddenly activated shortly before the first game of our doubleheader. Now in the lineup for game 2. 2-2 pitch, swung on and miss, and that is strike 3. So Soria, 2 strikeouts in tonight's ball game, and that will bring up the top of the order in Ford Proctor. We'll go ahead and get through a Van Meter Insurance MLB scoreboard here in the bottom of the 5th inning as Proctor steps in. He's 0 for 2. Look around Major League Baseball, several finals already. Start off Toronto defeating Kansas City 6-2. First pitch to Proctor, taken for a strike, a fastball. Other finals, Tampa Bay shut out by the Texas Rangers 5-0. Day after the Rays played 18 innings against Minnesota. Proctor fouls the 0-1 right back, and the count now 0-2. 6-2, Miami defeats the Phillies at home. That's the same score that Atlanta won at Citi Field against the Mets. Baltimore, meanwhile, took it to the Indians, 13-0. Orioles win that one. 0-2 pitch to Proctor, breaking ball in the dirt for ball 1. One game that just went final up in Detroit. The Nationals defeat the Detroit Tigers by a score of 3-1. Anibal Sanchez getting a win against his former squad. 1-2 pitch. Proctor hits this one high in the air into center field. Got a little bit under it. Chris Roller, ranging towards left center, makes the catch, and that's the second out of the inning. Second time Proctor's flied out to center. He's 0 for 3. Bottom of the 8th in Cincinnati, 6-3. The Reds leading the Cubs. Bottom 7th in Milwaukee. The Brewers leading the Pirates 2-1. White Sox lead Minnesota 4-2. That game is in the top of the 7th in Chicago. Meanwhile, stretch time in Houston, Mariners leading the Astros 1-0. Receiver Whalen steps in now, 2 outs, nobody on the 5th, and he checks, swings, and holds up. As the first pitch misses downstairs, a slider from Kolek for ball 1. Whalen 0 for 2 is grounded to third, fouled out to first, or popped up to first, I should say. 1-0 pitch, Kolek in the windup kicks and delivers, and Whalen takes it down on the way, 2-0. Continuing through the Van Meter Insurance MLB scoreboard, bottom 5 in Colorado, 5-2. Dodgers leading the Rockies, and just getting underway in Anaheim, no score between the A's and Angels. Same deal with Cardinals and Padres. San Diego. Whalen takes breaking ball for a strike, 2-1. Meanwhile, also just getting underway, the final game of the night. Arizona is at San Francisco. 2-1 pitch. Whalen takes a fastball away, 3-1. And thus concludes our lightning round of the Van Meter Insurance MLB scoreboard for this June 28th, 2019. Meanwhile, here at Bowling Green Ballpark, 1-1, bottom 5, 2 outs, nobody on. 3-1 the count on Seaver Whalen. The pitch, and he's punched out, but that's strike 2. So the count fills out. Whalen checks his swing. The pitch was at his knees. Emma Charlesworth-Seiler kind of hesitated for a moment, then went with an abbreviated punch out and then quickly flashed up 3-2. So the full count now on Whalen. Fastball lined into left center field, struck pretty well, and that is down and rolling to the wall. Seaver Whalen around first. He is chugging to second, and he has a 2-out double. Just the 3rd hit of the game for Bowling Green. And that'll bring up Grant Witherspoon. Spoon has one of the other 2 hits, a 2-out double of his own back in the first. He struck out swinging in inning number 3. Now the tying run in scoring position with 2 down, as now action in the bullpen getting a little more serious. The righty up and throwing in the pen. Whalen leads away from first as Witherspoon backs away from a first pitch fastball, but it's taken for a strike, 0-1. Witherspoon checking in at 267, 8 homers, 32 RBIs. Looking for another ribby here. The 1 pitch swung on and fouled back over the roof, straight over our heads. And the count now 0-2. Pitch number 90 from Kolek. It seemed like there's a good bet. This might be his last hitter regardless of the result. Kolek sets, checks Whalen at second. The pitch home, breaking ball just misses off the plate, ball 1. Had a few Great Lakes Loons taking a step or 2 towards the first base dugout, but the pitch misses. 1-2 the count on Witherspoon. Kolek set at the letters. The 1-2. Fastball hit high in the air. Deep right field. Back to the wall. That ball is gone. A 2-run homer for Grant Witherspoon. Nearly called out on strikes a pitch ago, and he takes advantage of his second chance. His 9th home run of the season, just clearing the wall in right center field. 364 feet on the blast for Spoon. It is 3-1, Hot Rods. A 2-out double by Seaver Whalen, then a 2-run homer from Grant Witherspoon. And now Jordan Kazar will step in. Kolek stays in, and first pitch is a fastball that misses, ball 1. Figure maybe the idea here for Shoemaker is, well, the damage is done, might as well let the starter ride it out. 1-0 pitch, took something off it. Kazar swings through it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kolek eclipsing 90 pitches for the first time this season. First time in his pro career, for that matter. Trying to get through 5. 1-1 pitch. Kazar hits it a mile high, shallow center field. Amaya, the shortstop, backing up. He is waving everybody off. He'll make the catch, and that ends the inning. But a batter too late for Great Lakes as Grant Witherspoon unties this game with a 2-run homer. As we head to the 6th inning on the Hot Rods Radio Network, the voice of the Hot Rods, Sean Mernon, will return to take you the rest of the way through the nightcap of our twin bill when we come back.
Back here at the ballpark, head into the top half of the 6th inning as Luke Heyer comes to the plate. Matthew Liberatore on the mound. First pitch just misses outside. It's a 3-1 Hot Rods lead. And, well, as we begin this inning, we welcome in our guest, Ryan Pinnell, out of the Sports Science Department for the Tampa Bay Rays. Ryan, no stranger to Bowling Green, Kentucky. As this one chopped over to the left side, picked up by Aranda. He throws on to first. 5-3 the put out. Be James Outman coming up to the plate. Ryan, Welcome back to Bowling Green.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be back.
I mean, we didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
They just brought you in.
I was forced into it, but it's okay.
That's all right. Nothing wrong with that. So you were here in 2015. It was your second year of pro ball.
Yes.
What do you remember the most about being in Bowling Green, Kentucky?
It was just a really great place to play. Great town, great fans.
So this one slapped over to the right side, picked up by the first baseman, Russ Olive. He takes it to the bag. 3 unassisted. Brings up Jair Camargo. Go ahead.
Yeah, great town, great fans. Just go to a lot of really great cities in the league, and it was a really great time. We had a good team, and it was fun.
So you were here for 22 games that season. Was there a particular game that stood out in 2015 for you there? On the good side of things? We'll do that.
On the good side of things?
On the good side of things?
Probably the debut here. I pitched pretty well in his first time in full season ball and in front of a decent amount of fans, so that was pretty fun. And just pitching in all the different cities was a really good time. South Bend, Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne's a great ballpark. That was a good time.
Fort Wayne's it was built the same year as this stadium. It's the first pitch to the next hitter in Camargo on the outside corner for a called strike to the right-hander. But I guess the one thing that, I don't know, kind of piqued my interest is the pitch on the way. This one smoked foul over on the first base side, now 0-2. You make the transition from being a player now to being a part of the front office. And you're also in, at this point, I don't know an industry or a niche or just a job that is expanding exponentially at this point in sports science. What to you appeals to it, and then how do you see that growing and morphing as you're in it?
For sure, it's definitely, as you said, it's exploding in the baseball world. And when I had the opportunity to move over this side, I saw it as a chance to be part of that, and so far it's been great. Get to around players more, around coaches more, and just trying to get players better and trying to get these guys to the big leagues any way possible. It's been good.
0-2 from Libby, gets pulled foul over on the third base side. Still 0-2 here between Matthew Liberatore, Jair Camargo. 2 outs on the board, 3-1. Bowling Green leading in an abbreviated 7-inning game. Now, did you start in the video side of things when you got with the Rays?
I did. I was released in spring training of 2016, and in my release meeting I was offered an internship for a video internship in short season that year, and that kind of snowballed. The video coordinator position came open, started doing that, and then a couple years later moved over to the sports science side of things. So it was a good initiation into the front office side of things.
1-2 swung on and missed. That's another strikeout here for Matthew Liberatore. That's 9 Ks. Let's have you for one more half inning.
Sounds good.
We're not going to pull teeth, but we'll do that.
Sounds good.
9 Atmos Energy bringing the gas strikeouts for Matthew Liberatore. As he leaves the field, we will give way to a commercial break. When we come back, it'll be the bottom half of the sixth. Still 3-1. Hot Rods on top here on the Bowling Green Hot Rods Radio Network. Welcome back to the ballpark. We'll take this ball game into the bottom half of the sixth, 3-1. Bowling Green in the lead in the second game of this doubleheader. Going for the sweep here against the Great Lakes Loons. And we welcome back in our friend Ryan Pinnell, who is this your second time at Bowling Green this year?
Yeah, second time.
Okay. But obviously not the second time in your life that you've been here. How long have you been in the front office for the Rays now?
This is my 3rd year full time, so last couple of years I've only came once each year, but going around to affiliates a little bit more this year, so it's been fun.
Getting the double dosage. So you work directly then with our friend Brian Rollberg down there. He's our sports science intern, right?
I do, yes.
So what kind of stuff, without getting too in depth, we know there's a lot of, I guess, what do you want to call proprietary information there, but when you two get together and you two sit down and talk about what you see, what's kind of that conversation like? Because a lot of people are really interested in this sports science stuff, but one, they don't know how to get into it. And 2, they don't really know what it necessarily entails.
For sure. We have a lot of processes in place that help us monitor players and track players to make sure that they're as fresh as they can possibly be, and then we're trying our best to prevent injuries too. So again, we have a lot of processes in place that Brian is really the boots on the ground here to take care of, and we can see things on our end from all the way in Florida, and then it just creates conversation with him, the athletic trainer, strength and conditioning coach, to try to figure out the best plan for these guys moving forward.
That's maybe the most interesting part of it to me. By the way, Jonathan Aranda up at the plate, a 1-2 count to him. There's Yoel Inoa on the mound, and he swings and fouls this one back to stay alive. Still 1-2. Is that all of those positions in unison, along with guys like your managers and your pitching coaches, everybody that's down there really has to work in harmony for the sports science side of it to work, because if you have all the information and don't use it, it's just that. It's just information. Inoa set the 1-2. This one popped up left side, back into left field. Coming in is McLean. He calls for it, and he'll make the catch in front of Jacob Amaya, the shortstop, for the first out of the inning. F7 there brings up Russ Olive, who's 0 for 1 with a walk today. Now, was it difficult, because you guys deal with a lot of numbers too? Was it difficult for you to kind of get used to going from being more focused on what your body's doing to necessarily what it's, I guess the good way to put it is what it's generating on the other side of it with what you're looking at?
Yeah, it was definitely a little bit of a transition coming from playing to this side of things. A little bit of a learning curve at times. Undergraduate degree was in exercise science, so I had a little bit of a background going into it, but definitely a learning curve, and learn something new every day, which I think is the point of all this. So
that's the point of that's my big thing when I hang out down in the clubhouse, is the 1-0 in there for a called strike. Not that I do that all the time, but obviously on the road there's not a lot of people that I can go and see on a regular basis that I know other than those guys. So it's really interesting to me, and just sitting there and trying to soak up everything you can from this staff. It's been great. You've worked with them. I mean, these are a bunch of good guys that really know the game. Is just trying to understand what goes on a day-to-day basis down on the field. And there's a lot more that goes into it than I think most of us on this side of it. Obviously, you're not on this side of it, but we don't really understand what goes into just something as simple as a pinch hit appearance. It's insane.
It is. There's a lot that goes into it.
Here's the pitch. That one misses in the dirt for a ball. I guess we got through the hard part of this. So what is, I mean, it seems like you have a glamorous life because you're going from Hudson Valley to Montgomery to Durham to Bowling Green. But what kind of toll does that take on you throughout the season to have to go from place to place? Now that you're traveling more, I guess is probably the good way. Were you prepared for it once you obviously with you being a minor leaguer for a couple years there?
I think so. I mean, it wasn't too much of a shock. It's kind of ingrained in you at some point, playing so much baseball, that this is just part of it. You kind of experience what the players experience. You travel around, you see a bunch of teams, and to be honest with you, I don't really know any other way right now. So
that's I'm in that same boat at this point. This is my 6th year. So that pitch misses low and inside. Russ Olive works a walk here in a full count. 1 out and 1 on. It'll bring up Tony Pena. But it's just one of those things where it's like all of a sudden, 6 months of the year, guess what? You're not home. And if your friends call you, you're probably not going to answer.
Yeah, you pretty much have to block out. You block out February through about October and say, I'm not available here. And granted, you can make time around it too, but you're locked in pretty much for 6 months out of the year. And I mean, at the end of the day, I get to watch a baseball game every night, so it could be way worse.
It's 100% true. That's the way that I look at it. So the first pitch is going to get swung on and fouled off by Tony Pena. This is a guy you and I talked briefly about earlier. He never gets cheated on a swing. It's kind of fun to watch him hit it, and I marvel at the fact that he doesn't have a home run this year, because there have been times where he has taken a cut at a ball and sent a screaming line drive in a place where a guy is just like, you know what? Letting up a hit is just not worth my hand right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Tony definitely has a ton of bat speed, and I think he'll run into one. Take a little bit more time, but he's an impressive player.
This is a place where if he runs into one, he may run into several.
Absolutely.
There's the 0-1 that's in there for a called strike. He had a great year last year too. It was so good that he ended up earning a promotion part of the way through last year, and he met all those challenges he met with obviously performance. Got a slow start to the season this year, but kind of came on of late. The average, you look at it, 243, and you think, well, that's not great, but when you realize where it's come from is he sends this ball in the air into right field, but right at James Outman, who's there to make the catch. That's 2 gone in the inning. F9. Russ Olive sticking around at first base as Kevin Santiago comes up to the plate. But that's certainly something that's promising, I should think, because that average has gone up some 50 points since May.
Absolutely. I mean, just have to look at the recent performance, and guys go through ups and downs, and you just got to see how they just got to stick with it sometimes, and it'll come around.
So I have to ask this question just because I'm curious. I don't know what all of it does, but what is your favorite tool that you guys use that you can actually say? Because as the pitch is in there for a called strike, I know you guys use Rapsodo, Blast. You guys have obviously the TrackMan. What's your favorite thing? Like when you get data in, what's your favorite thing to look at?
I think you touched on a lot of it right there. I mean, this stuff it's very cool to be a part of baseball in a time where this stuff is coming out, and it allows us to see, just take a little bit deeper dive into who players are and what they are all about, and that's honestly the most exciting part for me. And then how can we relay that information to help these players, and that's the end goal ultimately.
I think that's probably one of the probably weirdest conversations that you could potentially have, is that one's up and in and hits Santiago on the shoulder as he dips that right side of his body in. He'll get plunked and head up to first base. It moves Russ Olive into second and brings up Nate Soria for the third time today. He's 0 for 2, still looking for his first hit of the season. If he gets it, it'd be the second hit of his career. This is his first game of the year for Bowling Green. Just activated here for the second game today. But he'll stand in. Still 2 outs, a 3-1 ball game. Bowling Green looking for some insurance runs as they head hopefully into the 7th. But that one's always been the interesting part, because a lot of the, I don't know what you, old guard or whatever you want to call it, there's a lot of guys that are scouting heavy, and then there's a lot of guys that are analytically heavy. And so you have to find that bridge somewhere, almost like the translator. It's like when Osmi Gregorio got here at first, it was really difficult for me to talk to him because he was still learning English. Now we speak well, kind of somewhere in between. You had to have that translator to be able to have that conversation. So is that also part of your job, having been on that side of it and now being on this side of it, to be able to translate that information?
I think it absolutely helps. I mean, I, again, can kind of see things from both sides and try to help just kind of explain anything that we're seeing on the data side or sports science side to players or field staff, and vice versa. I can communicate really well with them, and they can provide feedback as well. And again, I just think it's really how well you can marry both of these sides. It's not replacing anything. It's more just how can we, just an extra, there's just more tools to add to the toolbox. That's
fantastic. It's definitely a lot of it's a lot of hours for you guys. I know that much, because you see Brett Homer's our video coordinator here, our video intern, whatever you want to call it, and tit for tat, he and I go, on the bus. We plug in the laptops and get going, and there's nights where Brett's on his laptop a little bit longer than I am, and he's trying to get that video up so everybody can see exactly what needs to be improved or what happened and everything. It's just all of the tools that are at big league teams' disposals now. It's no wonder why you're finding guys later and later in the draft that end up making it to the big leagues, because you see something that no one else sees, and all of a sudden you're dealing with a guy who maybe won't be a superstar, but he can certainly be a productive player for more than just a year or two at the big league level.
For sure. I think it's really just giving every player the best opportunity they can to succeed, and whatever tool can help them do that, I think we're always willing to explore that option. But again, that just goes back to the amount of work people put in behind the scenes that I don't think I even realized as a player. And it's a lot of work, but it's all for good fun.
When's the first moment that you realized, like, boy, this is a lot more work than I thought? I thought we just came to the ballpark and played, and then someone said, hey, you got to, turn your foot toward the plate or some nonsense like that. So 2-2, swung on and missed. Nate Soria strikes out. That'll be a question for another day, I think. I think it's time to let you loose and get back down to the club and enjoy the last inning here.
Appreciate it. It was fun. Thanks for having me.
Ryan Pinnell, everybody. Sports Science with the Tampa Bay Rays. We'll be seeing probably more of him around in his return to Bowling Green. Thanks so much for joining us, Ryan.
Thank you.
3-1, Hot Rods lead as they take it into the 7th inning. We'll see who takes the mound in just a few moments here on the Hot Rods Radio Network. Bowling Green looking for the sweep here this evening. Bowling Green has a new third baseman. It's Osby Gregorio coming in for Jonathan Aranda. So Libby takes to the mound. He's pitched well so far, giving up a run on 4 hits in this one. That would certainly help that bullpen get a little bit of rest before we get on the bus here in a little while. Last time Hot Rods had a complete game was July the 19th of last year. This one a hard hit ground ball through the left side. Gregorio dove at it, but it leaked through. As that gets out in the left field, the ball comes back in off the hand of Jordan Cassar. And that'll bring the tying run to the plate here in the 7th inning. With Josh McClain. We see Christopher Ogando getting up in the bullpen. Here's the pitch, and instead they throw over to first base, not in time. So, Matt Kogan again aboard with the leadoff single here in the 7th. Josh McClain waiting for his first pitch. Here it comes. He goes after it, sends a fly ball into right field. Tracking it out there is Tony Pena. He settles, backs up, and makes the play. 1 out. Chris Roller is going to come to the plate. For Liberatore, he's got 90 pitches now, I believe. Or no, that's 89, so the next one will be his 90th. Got Ogando, who threw yesterday's the pitch in there for a called strike, warming up in the pen. He is available, so we could see him into this ball game here. But I'm sure Matthew Liberatore out there on the mound would probably, though he has 9 strikeouts, like to see a ground ball here. The 0-1. This is up and outside for a ball. That was a pretty fun 6th inning, a little bit different, talking about some of the sports science that the Rays use, trying to evaluate and help these players get better. We certainly appreciate Ryan Pinnell joining us here this evening. It was the 1-1, misses low and away. Always like having the guys from the big league club around. You learn a lot in the few days that they get to spend, and then they leave. You try and apply that, try to learn a little bit more from the coaching staff, and they come back with a whole bunch of new stuff. It never ends. Here comes the 2-1. That's a swing and a foul ball back. Now it's 2-2. Great crowd on hand tonight for this doubleheader. A sellout, 4,682. As Chris Roller asks for time and backs out. Why not? The thing I'm certainly interested in seeing is this bat throw contest. The pitch swung on and missed. And how about that? 10 strikeouts for Matthew Liberatore. There is a whole bunch of stuff to run down with that. Last time there was 10 or more strikeouts, Joe Ryan back on May the 7th had 11. That was against Burlington. For Liberatore, just set a new career high. Previous was 9 that he did back on June the 15th against Lansing. Guess what? Seeing Lansing tomorrow. Not too shabby. That big lefty is awfully good. Here's the pitch. That misses outside for a ball. It's a 1-0 count here to Miguel Vargas. 2-hitter. He's 1 for 3 today. Brennan Mentz doing a great job of keeping an eye on that radar gun as the 1-0 gets swung on and missed. Now it's a 1-1 count. His 95th pitch of the night, 95 miles per hour. You could say all you want about his 6'5" frame. Could chalk it up to, first round talent. He's a first round pick last year by the Rays. At the end of the day, the word good is certainly the best way to describe Matthew Liberatore as he gets the swing and a miss there, and now it's a 1-2 count. Liberatore and the Hot Rods one pitch away from locking down a series sweep. Here comes the 1-2. Misses up and outside, gets away from Soria. The wild pitch is going to move Matt Kogan into second base. You don't think that big lefty wants to close out this game? 97 on that last one. Goes to the back of the mound, picks up the rosin bag with his left hand and then drops it to the surface. Steps on with his left foot. Time is called as he readjusts. Liberatore at 98 pitches in a 2-2 count to Vargas with 2 outs. Here it is. 99's a breaking ball that misses downstairs. And now it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch 100. Swung on and fouled up and out of play. Still a 3-2 count as Libby just trying to get that last out of the ball game. Got a runner on second. As Matt Kogan gathers his lead. Infield playing back. Here's the 3-2 again. This one a hard hit ground ball to Gregorio, who backhands it. The throw across the diamond is a good one. And Matthew Liberatore started walking towards the dugout, and then Nate Soria says, "Where you going, man? The game's over." 3-1 your final score. Hot Rods get the sweep here of the Great Lakes Loons. Move to 6-2 here in the second half of the season. In front of a sellout crowd, Matthew Liberatore with a complete game, allowing just 1 run and 4 hits. 5 hits here today. What a performance by this Hot Rods team, as well as that pitching staff. A great series here, a couple of walk-off wins, a bunch of close games. We'll put a bow on this one when we come back in just a few moments, but again, Hot Rods get the sweep in the doubleheader, 8-7 in walk-off fashion in the first game, and 3-1 here with a gem off the left hand of Matthew Liberatore to close out the homestand. Back in a few moments on the Hot Rods Radio Network.